Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We're excited to have our very own Amanda Ejiro presenting on Speed Up Your Revenue and Expenses Process with Deferral Templates. And I know you're all eager to get started with the presentation, so before I pass it over to Amanda, as a reminder, we are recording this webinar and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And if you do have any questions along the way, please feel free to type them into the questions box on the webinar control panel, and we will get them answered for you during our Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I'm going to pass it on over to Amanda to kick off our presentation.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me on this webinar. My name is Amanda Ejiro. I'm an application consultant here at Innovia Consulting. I've been with Innovia for about a year and 8 months. Before then, I worked with 2 NAV partners as a NAV consultant, and I also worked with an end user as lead ERP analyst. So today, I'm going to be presenting on how to speed up your revenue and expense processes with deferral templates in Business Central and Dynamics NAV. So basically, we will use deferrals to report expenses that have been paid in advance or revenue received in advance. So I'm going to be covering the following subtopics today. So we're going to learn how to create the templates, how to attach a template to records, how to use the templates in actual transactions, and how to modify a schedule. And then we're going to talk about the reports that are available out of the box. So very quickly, I would start by showing us how to create deferral templates in Business Central. So the first thing we do is we can use the search bar to just search for something called deferral templates, and it comes up. So we'll start by doing new, as we'll do in every other page in Business Central. So we give it a name. So say we call it, let's assume we were creating a deferral template for insurance. So I say insurance. So I call it something, same thing, insurance deferred. And then this account is asking you what GL account you want to link these deferrals to. So in this case, I'll just search for one of my balance sheet accounts. So I say insurance prepaid, okay. So we'll be using this one for this webinar. And then the percentage is saying, anytime I use this template, what percentage do I want to defer the amount on my transaction to? So by default, it comes to 100%. You can always change it to whatever percent you want. And then you enter that into that field. And then it talks about the different types of calculation method for this deferral template. So straight line means the periodic deferral amounts are calculated according to the number of periods. So whatever I select here, it will be depreciated according to the number of periods I specify in my number of periods. So when we say equal, we have another option that says equal per period. It talks about irrespective of the number of periods, just depreciate everything into the same number of equal number of periods. So user defined talks about you have to manually fill the amounts field on your transaction. So basically, most times it defaults to, and most people use straight line, and that's what the default calculation method is. So starting date also talks about at what date do I want to start this deferral. So starting date, most times we look at the posting date on our transaction. So for this one, say we were to the number of periods were for, so say 12 months, right? Now in this period description, it's basically how this entry will report in our GL entries, right? When we post, what's the kind of description we want to see in our ledgers for this kind of transaction. So in NAV, there's something called placeholders where the system interpret certain kind of variables with predefined characters. So if you put percentage of 1, it means the posting date. Percentage of 2 may mean period, the period, the week of that period. 3 means the particular month. So in this case, I would say, so let's call this insurance. Sorry. Insurance deferred. Or percent 4%, 6. So 4 is the month of that transaction, and 6 is the year. So in this case, it will say insurance deferred for maybe January 2021. So if you check online, the interpretation of all these characters are available from Microsoft. So basically, I've finished creating my deferral template. The most important thing is to specify your GL accounts. Your periods can always be changed from your transaction. So I create this one, insurance deferred. So yes, I have it set up. So that's about creating the deferrals on in business. And you could create as many as you want, and just it will store in the system. So when we create the deferral templates, the next thing is, how do we attach it to our records? So if we had specific entries and they were sure that, hey, anytime I transact with this item, I want the expenses or the revenue to be deferred, you can attach it directly to that record. And then in Business Central, you can attach it to items, I think resources, and GL accounts, right? So I will show you how to, the next subtopic is how to attach it to a specific record. So I say we attach it to a resource item. So if I go to resources, I look at examples I have in the system. Okay, so lift for furniture rentals. Okay, so say we always, this is an equipment. Let's assume this is an equipment we rent out to our customers, and we receive money upfront, but you know, like rent, they don't actually use up that rent till it expires in the period. So I want to attach a deferral template to this record, telling the system that anytime somebody transacts with this resource, always run the deferral templates settings that are attached on the resource card. So you search for a field called default deferral template. So if I look up to this, if I click down, it will show me all my templates that are set up. But in this case, I wouldn't want to attach insurance because this has to do with rental. So let's quickly create a new deferral template called rentals. Let's call it rentals and say I don't know, machine rentals. And he asks me what account. Same also, I'll look for an asset account, something that has to do with rent, or I think I had one called, sorry, 110.5. Yes, prepaid rent. And then, yeah, takes the straight line method, and number of periods, I can say 6 for this, say 6 months, right? So same thing, rent, just give it rent, rentals, deferred, for months, cents, year. Okay. And then I put straight line 100%. Okay. So in this case, I'm attaching this rental deferral template to this resource card. So anytime I use this, the system would run the deferral functionality available. So I pick up this. So I've attached it to this. So that's basically how to attach it to any record. You could also attach it to items. You could attach it to GL accounts. It's the same way. So for items, you look up to your item list and find any one, and you just locate that field and attach it on the item card. The default deferral template also looks up to what you have created in the system. So it's the same thing, attaching it to a GL account, a resource card, or an item card. So the next thing we would look at is how to use this deferral templates in transactions. which is the major thing we want to look at today. So I'm changing my work date to today. So so we'll start by let's create a purchase invoice. So in this case, let's assume we're paying for vehicle insurance. We're paying, our vendor has given us an invoice to pay vehicle insurance for the period of 12 months. So we want to create the purchase invoice. We pick a vendor and say, okay, so we take this Progressive guy and our vendor invoice number, which is the document from the vendor, can be anything. I'll just keep it as today's date to know exactly what's. So when you put that, and then in this first case, I'm going to show you how to use deferrals when you have not attached it to a record. So I pick a GL account because it's an expense, and I say, see if I have any vehicle expenses. Okay, I pick vehicle expense quantity. So I say 1, and I say what's that? 100, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm just going to collapse the show less here so we can see my lines properly. So I pick it up and I'm doing this. And now, because I didn't attach the deferral code to my GL account card, I need to manually add it here. And this gives us the flexibility to decide, okay, say it's not every time when I transact with this account called vehicle expenses that I do deferrals. I want to be able to choose what time I want to defer the expense or not, which is this example I'm showing. So in this case, I pick up, insurance deferred, right? So now I have told the system, when I post this purchase invoice, defer this expense based on the setup I have on this deferral templates. I think it was 12 months we put. So you can always see it directly from this side. So if you come to line, right, and you say related information, and you go to deferral schedule. So because I had set up in my insurance deferral templates to defer it for a period of 12 months, the system shows me how it's going to split it up. So today, this is what will hit that expense account, and it keeps taking it bit by bit till it expires, till the 12 months actually expires. So basically, that's what will happen, right? So you can view the deferral schedule, and we'll talk about editing the deferral schedule based on any kind of user-defined settings. That's the next topic we'll have. So once you set it up, once you just pick your deferral code on your lines, most times it doesn't show on the purchase lines. You have to choose the column and drag it and drop into your purchase lines. So 100,000, and then if we were to post this, let's say we post now. Okay, so say we wanted to see it, we say yes, right? So if you look at the entries, so right now it is showing us 6 entries, and that's because we have a date filter. It's showing me all the entries that were created today. Take note that in my vehicle expense, which is the account I picked on, like only a debit of 58,333 has gone into this account, but the other transactions have actually hit this account, but in different periods. So if I were to go back here and remove these dates, here I'm telling the system, show me all the entries. Do not consider the posting dates. And I say find. Hold on. Okay, now we see that now there are actually 30 entries. So if I open them up, I see that they've posted into the date that showed initially on my deferral schedule. So we can see exactly how the system is deferring it. So when we run our trial balance at any given point in time, we only get to see the amount that should actually be reported in that accounting period, right? The amount that is not yet expired should be reported as a current assets in the existing period. So that's basically the use of deferrals to like post in the future, or to report an expense or a revenue in a period other than the current period we are posting it. So basically, system has spread everything and deferred it based on the settings we have put on our deferral schedule. So that's about that. That's a purchase invoice. So take note that in this first example, on this GL account card, we didn't fix the resource, the deferral schedule on the GL account card. We manually entered it on our purchase line. Now, I'll show you another example. So this is a purchase invoice for, like I said, vehicle insurance that we want to defer. So in the next one, say we were renting out one of those lifts to a customer. So we'll create a sales invoice and new. I pick any customer. I pick this guy. Okay. So in this case, my type is a resource type, and I picked that one resource we set up as we set up the deferral schedule on the resource card. I think was this lift, and I put 1, and what's this now? So okay, no, let me say many hours, 200 hours. Okay, and take note that by default, okay, so my deferral field is not showing. These are one of the examples I was trying to tell you. It may not show. You need to go to your settings, personalize, right? Add field. So I click on my field. Sorry. Add the field. And then you can search for something called, what's my search bar not working out? Deferral templates. Hold on, let me drag this down to search. Okay, deferral code. So I pull it in anyway, and it's there now. Sorry, I just want to check where it actually drops it. Deferral. Okay, so I see it now. So this was one of the examples I was saying earlier where Business Central doesn't have that field exposed. You need to add it. So I picked my lift, I put my quantity and my cost, my price. By default, my deferral code is already populated because I actually attached it on my resource card. So in this case, like I said, you're telling the system every time I transact with this lift resource, use the deferral schedule called rentals, right? So same thing, you could go to line, related information, deferral schedule, and then you see how the system, because I said my number of periods should be 6. When I set this up, it has broken it down and with showing me the dates it will actually post the entries to. So it's as simple as that. You just pick your item and then you post it. So in this case, I won't take away this tax. I say to make it very clear, non-taxable. Okay. And I look at my deferral schedule once more now that I've removed the tax elements. Okay. So, and then you post it as simple as you post every other. It's the same process to post it as you would post every sales invoice. Post, yes. Okay, and then you say yes to look at we say yes to look at the entries. So, navigate, sorry, invoice, find entries. So like I said, it will show 6 because we're filtering with this date. We're looking in this current period we are in. So it just shows you what has gone in, what has gone into this account. So there's a there's a credit of 1166.61 there, and then if we want to see everything, we take away this date, we find it, and we see it increases this. Because I just deferred for a period of 6 months, I don't have as much entries as I had for my purchase invoice. So basically, that's how to use deferrals. And then system does everything it's supposed to do behind the scenes and takes every account, takes the entries to the right transaction. So I think the next thing on the topics were modifying a deferral schedule for specific transactions. So in this case, what it means is, because we have set up our deferral templates, I'll go back to deferral templates once more. And I have specifically said for insurance, number of periods is 12. For rental expenses should be 6. So the user actually has the flexibility to tell the system, hey, no, I have an agreement with this vendor that for this insurance I'm doing, it shouldn't be for a period of 12 months, it should be for a period of 5 months or 6 months. So how to do that is just actually modifying. So I'll go back to, I think I'll use my insurance deferral code for this. I go back to my purchase invoice and I do a new one, right? And I pick vendor, okay, I pick the same progressive guy and just something there. And GL accounts, most times it's always an expense. And that was what? That was vehicle, sorry, expense. Vehicle. Okay. And then it comes up and I say quantity of 1, I put my amount. And then I say, okay, I'm going to be using, because I know I'm going to be deferring the insurance, I pick this. And then when I look at line related information and I go to my schedule, it follows the rule I set up in that insurance deferral template. Now the user has the ability to say, no, for this one transaction, I'm not doing 12 months, I'm doing for a period of 6 months. And you say, okay, sorry. And when you do that, you have to run calculate schedule. So once you do this, when the system looks at your settings here and changes it. So that's basically how to modify a deferral schedule for specific transactions. So I say 6 here, and I'm telling the system, start it on this date. You can also tell the system when to start this deferral schedule. You can say, do not start today, start next month. So any way so if I want to say, okay, start when now? July 10th. July 10th. I can still put it, calculate schedule. It changes it, right? So anytime you change any of the fields here, you have to run this calculate schedule and say close. So same thing it will do once you run your, so in this case, let's just preview the posting. It's the same thing. So we'll see GL entries of, it has 18 GL entries. And look at my first dates, right? 710. So all these first ones are the ones that actually post today, but it only defers what it needs to defer for the first period. And then the next period doesn't start until the 7th of, sorry, on 10th of July. So basically that's how to alter your to modify the deferral schedule for specific transaction. It works at the same way for sales invoice, for purchase invoice, and then you could also use it on your general journals. All you need to do is show that column, because most times, like I said, it's hidden. So that's about deferrals. It's a very good feature and very easy to set up and to use. The next thing are the reports. So we have some standard reports available in Business Central and Dynamics now for deferrals. So if you just search for something called sales deferral summary, I think it's called sales deferral. Okay, sales deferral summary. So balance. So show me my balance as at, not today. Say I say July, I don't know, July 14th or so, right? And I preview. Okay, hold on. Run it again. 16. preview. Hold on. Okay, I don't. There's something wrong with something happening with this report. So I'll show you the one for the purchase. We also have a purchase deferral. So basically, what this report just shows you, it shows you how you have actually spread out your deferral and what is currently due in this period, what is outstanding, and purchase deferral summary. Okay, it's not coming up, so I'll just search for it. Purchase deferral summary. New page by customer vendor number. Okay, so basically there's something wrong with this report, but like I said, it just shows you what is currently outstanding at any period in time. Let me take it to, what was my work date? My work date was this year, right? Yeah. So page by customer, don't need a vendor customer number, accounts is there, 15 account preview. Okay, so it's not working. Something is wrong with this. I don't know, version of Business Central I'm using, but I'll quickly launch Business Central on-prem because I know I ran it there successfully, and I'll pull it to the screen and show how what the report looks like. Give me some seconds, please. Okay, coming up. Come on. Okay, so sales deferral summary. Show period of this. It's coming up. So okay, appeared on my second screen. Sorry about that. So basically, you see how this is what the report actually shows. It shows you all the transactions you have actually posted, the number of periods, what's the amount that's recognized in this period, and what is actually left, remaining amount deferred. So this is what the purchase deferral summary also looks like. Just spreads it and show you. So at any period in time, you can run reports to see what is due, what is recognized in the period, and you can change your date filters. So if you change your date filters, you will also be able to see it based on whatever criteria you want to see it. So that's about the reports available in Business Central. So that brings me to the end of deferrals in Business Central and NAV. It's the same process in Dynamics NAV, same process in Business Central. It hasn't changed since for a while now. So that's basically all I had to present on. I don't know if Keith, did any questions come in?
Amanda, I don't see any questions at the moment, but we do still have it open in case you want to get one in before we close out. All right, yeah, it looks like there's no questions from the audience at this time. So if you're all good, Amanda, we can close out.
Okay, yeah, I'm all good. Thanks everyone for joining, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who's joined us today, and those who are watching on demand. We thank you for watching as well. Want to make sure to let you know about a couple of events coming up real soon. We do have more webinars coming up in the next couple weeks here. On June 15th, we have JET reports coming in to talk about improving capital management and cash flow with JET reports and analytics. And then also that day at 1 p.m., that first presentation is at 10 a.m. Central. At 1 p.m. Central, our own Mitzi Ridley will be presenting on BC Intercompany and Consolidations, the good, the bad, and the benefits. You can see these webinars and get your registration in and see all the other ones that we have coming up at innovia.com/events. We also want to make sure you know that we do have a Innovia training workshop coming up on June 16th. Felix Morales will be talking about sales and use tax in Business Central. So there's still time to register for that workshop. That's just at innovia.com/workshops. Remember that all of our workshops are one registration cost per company. So want to take advantage of that to get your whole team up to speed. One last thing we'll mention is that we do have a podcast going. You can search for it on any podcast platform that you use. It's called the Innovia Conversation, and it's a Business Central podcast with our hosts Steve Waltz and Jeff Pergalski. Most recently, they had Mark Rhodes from New View Strategies on to talk about Business Central training, but we do have industry experts in a wide variety of topics that join them to share the latest news, updates, different things that you can learn about Business Central and related topics. So you want to check that out if you have not already. But I think with that, I'll just do one more check on the questions. It looks like we're good. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us, and we do hope you'll join us on the next Innovia webinar. Have a great day.